Welcome friends to another video, and it's time for me to let you know what my image settings are on the Philips 7304/12, the one as it's also called, which is a Android Smart TV. It's a 2019 model, and what I have here is the 70-inch diagonal Smart TV. One disclaimer, these are my image settings, so this is what I like, this is what I configured after using the TV for 4 months already. And second of all, this is a VA type panel. So keep in mind that this model 7304 comes in different sizes, and the smaller sizes have a different panel technology. Mainly they have IPS LCD. This is VA, and these settings apply to this type of panel. You can try them out if you have a smaller diagonal TV, just like this one, this model, but keep this in mind. So the Philips 70PUS7304/12 is a 2019 Android Smart TV from Philips. It's a very interesting and very beautiful device. Has a huge screen, as you can see, and also it features a lot of technologies inside. You have micro dimming pro, you have Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, HDR, HDR10, HDR Plus, and so on. There are a lot of things that you can do with this TV. But as you already know, if you want to have the best image on your TV, you need to go ahead and configure it, mainly because not all TVs come configured correctly from the manufacturing plant, and also not all panels are properly configured. So my main thing, if you want, is you should actually go ahead and call a guy who knows how to calibrate your TV, because they have proper devices. They are professional calibrators, certified calibrators. But what I did after 4 months of using this TV was to adjust the settings, to configure my device to what my eyes actually enjoy seeing on this huge screen. So these are my image settings, and keep in mind that for every single thing that you are watching on this device, you need to input different configurations. For example, right now it's set on the TV, on cable TV, but if you want to watch HDR content, you need to go ahead and reconfigure the same image settings for HDR content. If, I don't know, you are mirroring your smartphone on your device, again you have to go ahead and reconfigure the device and the image settings. This is a thing that I don't really enjoy about Philips TVs, but what can I say? Once you manage all the settings, unless you go ahead and hard reset your smart TV, you don't have to bother again with the configurations. Let's go ahead into the menu. Let's go to frequent settings, all settings, and this is the general settings menu. Let's go to picture style. Mine is set to ISF night. Mainly the most accurate presets in terms of image, colors, contrast are night, day, and also movie. Mine is set to ISF night. Let's go to color. My color is set to 70, so this is the level of color saturation that I've wanted on my device. Not too dull, but not overly saturated. Contrast is set to 100, sharpness is set to 5, but you can put it lower. Brightness, in my case, it's set to 20. And we go to advanced settings. Here we have again color enhancement set to maximum. Color temperature is set to custom. You also have white point alignment. Mine is set to 2 point. You have also color control and RGB only mode, but these are only for ISF export settings. So that's in case you want to calibrate your screen, your TV, with the help of a professional. Contrast mode is set to optimize for picture. HDR upscaling is on. Dynamic contrast For me, it's set on minimum. I found it to be the best way, at least considering the type of things that I use my TV for, especially watching TV shows and movies. Video contrast is set to 100, light sensor is on, you can turn this off if you don't like it, and gamma is set to 0. Sharpness, ultra resolution set on, picture clean, noise reduction set to maximum, and MPEG artifact reduction again set to maximum. Motion and motion styles, mine is set to movie for a better experience, for I don't know, if you want to eliminate that soap opera effect that you can find, for example, in smooth or sports mode. So mine is set to movie. And this pretty much does it for the image settings. It's nothing complicated, it's very simple. Let's go to sound settings. Mine is set to movie. You also have an AI mode, but I found the movie mode to be the best, especially because the sound is more powerful. Also, it features a lot more bass considering the other modes. You also have the option to play with your headphones volume. You have the TV placement and again advanced settings. Here auto volume is turned on and delta volume, on my case, is set to the highest value, that is 12. Audio out, in my case TV speakers. I don't use I don't know, a soundbar, mainly because I don't need it. This TV actually has great sound. I've seen a lot of people saying that the speakers on this TV aren't loud and so on. Trust me, they are very loud, very clear, and the sound, especially if you are watching HDR content or Dolby Vision content with Dolby Atmos, is simply amazing. Digital out format, stereo uncompressed, digital out leveling, digital out delay, and digital out offset. Here are the settings where if you use a soundbar you can fiddle with those settings. Ambilight settings, because this is one main factor of this TV. Mine is set to follow video, so what the screen renders, the lights, the LED lights behind the TV, will mimic on the wall behind. Brightness is set to 5, but you can put it to 10. Saturation is set to +2, and if you are using a Philips Hue system with intelligent light bulbs, you can actually configure that system here connected to your TV, to your smart TV, or to the Ambilight system of the TV, and then you can have a really cool and amazing, let's say, ambient experience when watching especially movies, and especially action movies. So these are the main settings. Eco settings, energy saving, mine is turned off, and again light sensor is turned on. These are all the image settings that I use on my TV. One important thing here, in general settings, you need to go to HDMI Ultra HD. In my case, I'm using just one HDMI cable that's coming out of my TV box from my cable provider. And as you can see, you have two options, standard or optimal. Recommended would be to use optimal, mainly because it has the better quality. But I've noticed a couple of times that when I use it on optimal, the image tends to lag, and also I had some issues with audio. So if you have this type of problems, they recommend to use it on standard. And on standard, I haven't noticed any issues with audio or with image or video when playing on the TV. So I keep it on standard, but you can keep it on optimal. The main recommendation here is to use a very good HDMI cable, preferably an HDMI 2.0B, for example, with a large bandwidth, with a bandwidth up to 18 gigabytes per second. So keep this in mind, because depending on the HDMI cable that you are using, you may have or not have issues with the signal that comes out, especially in my case from my cable provider. And this pretty much does it for the image settings for the TV part, or when you are watching TV stations. But let's say that you want to watch HDR content. And for example, let's go on YouTube and find some HDR content. And I'm going to use the remote control, which has Google Assistant embedded. 8K video. Yeah, I had to keep the mic button pressed. And let's go ahead and watch this clip, which is simply amazing. And as you can see, in the right corner, the TV gives you the info that it recognizes HDR signal. And the image is simply amazing. But as I said, every single time that you want to do something else on your TV, you need to go back to your TV configurations and start all over again. So let's go ahead to the settings, frequent settings, all settings, and let's go again to picture style. And as you can see, for HDR content, I've set mine to HDR Vivid. Let's go to color. The color is set this time to 100, contrast 100, sharpness 7, so a sharper picture. Brightness higher, it's set to 30. And if we go to advanced, we have color enhancement, temperature, white point, contrast is set optimized for picture. And as you can see, we have HDR plus this time around because we are watching HDR content, and mine is set to maximum. And this is for superior contrast and brightness effect. Video contrast is set to 100, light sensor again, this time around it's off, and gamma value is on 0. Sharpness, Ultra HD, picture clean, set to maximum for both noise and MPEG artifact reduction. And in motion styles, the same, it's set to movie. But if you go to personal and select this one, when you go back, you see now that you have natural motion enabled, but only on this setting, personal. What natural motion means, it reduces the motion judder and the movement in the image. To be honest with you, I haven't observed a huge difference compared to everything else, but for the sake of the conversation, we're gonna leave it like this with natural motion enabled and in motion styles set on personal. Okay, let's get out of here. And again, basically the same settings for sound. I won't insist too much. Ambilight, the same thing. Echo settings, basically the same. HDMI is set to standard again. And this pretty much does it for all the settings or the image settings that I've made on the Philips 7304/12, also named or nicknamed the one to take home, as Philips likes to say. It's a very beautiful TV. It's very interesting in terms of technologies, also in terms of image rendering, and basically you can see it in the video how beautiful it looks, especially if you are using the Ambilight system, which you can also deactivate if you don't like it too much. But the image is simply amazing. The panel is simply beautiful because this one uses VA technology, not IPS. So it gives you deeper blacks, it gives you more contrast, and it gives you also great viewing angles. So I highly encourage you, if you want to try these settings, to give them a try to see how they work for your needs, for your eyes. I actually enjoy the image that I now have on my TV. It took me a couple of months to configure it after my taste, but I can finally say that I'm happy with what I'm getting and for what I paid. This is what I use on my TV, this is what I recommend, but nonetheless I do recommend you get a specialist that has the proper tools to calibrate the panel and afterwards to calibrate the image values on this TV for the best results. See you in the next one. As always, my friends, be safe, be good.